The courage to live authentically. Kierkegaard. You can be successful, respected, connected, and still feel like a stranger in your own life. You can hit every deadline, smile in every room, post every polished update, and still go to bed with this quiet question: whose life am I actually living? If that question has ever followed you home after a long day, this isn't just philosophy. This is survival. Tonight, we're stepping into the world of Søren Kierkegaard, the 19th century Danish thinker often called the father of existentialism, who asked a dangerous question long before social media, personal branding, and constant comparison. How do you become yourself in a world that rewards performance? Not your role, not your mask, not your resume, your actual self. Kierkegaard gives us no cheap comfort, but he gives us something better, a way to live truthfully. Here's the big idea of this whole video. Authenticity is not a personality trait. It's a repeated act of courage. Kierkegaard's central insight is that becoming a self is not automatic. It's a task, a lifelong task. And that task becomes hardest exactly where modern life gets loudest, where we are tempted to choose comfort over truth, image over integrity, and endless reflection over actual commitment. He believed that if you never choose yourself, deeply, concretely, and repeatedly, you won't just feel confused. You'll feel divided, anxious, spiritually exhausted. So this episode is a map: who Kierkegaard was, what he actually meant, what most people get wrong, and how you can apply his wisdom in daily life, without becoming dramatic, dogmatic, or detached from reality. 1. Introduction. Søren Kierkegaard lived in Copenhagen from 1813 to 1855, in a culture where Christianity was socially established and often treated as routine identity rather than lived inward commitment. He studied at the University of Copenhagen, completed his dissertation in 1841, and produced major works in a remarkably concentrated period. Either or, 1843. Fear and Trembling, 1843. The Concept of Anxiety, 1844. Concluding Unscientific Postscript, 1846. The Sickness unto Death, 1849. And Training in Christianity, 1850. He is generally considered the father of existentialism, not because he gave a neat system, but because he made individual existence the center of philosophy. Commitment, responsibility, anxiety, becoming. His biography matters because his philosophy was not abstract lecture hall theory. His father's heavy religiosity and melancholy deeply marked him. He broke off his engagement to Regine Olsen, and that heartbreak echoed through his writing. He wrote under many pseudonyms, on purpose, so different voices could embody different ways of living. Later, after public ridicule in the Corsair affair, he became more isolated and eventually launched fierce public criticism of official church life in Denmark. So when Kierkegaard talks about despair, choice, anxiety, and courage, he is not theorizing from distance. He is writing from collision. And one journal line captures his lifelong quest. The thing is to find a truth which is true for me. That is the axis of today's video. 2. Core Exploration. 7 Movements. Through Kierkegaard. The first trap: living aesthetically. Pleasure, image, avoidance. In Either or, one of Kierkegaard's pseudonymous voices shows what we might call the aesthetic life. Live for stimulation, novelty, mood, impression, admiration. Avoid boredom at all costs. Keep options open. Stay uncommitted enough to remain interesting. Sound familiar? In modern terms, endlessly curating your persona, chasing short-term highs, outsourcing self-worth to external reaction. This life can look exciting from outside, but from inside, it often turns into emptiness. Because when you refuse commitment, you don't stay free forever. You become shallowly scattered. You become a spectator of your own life. Emotional low point. You realize you've been busy, but not true. Practice, 1 minute. Tonight, write one sentence. Where am I choosing image over integrity? No posting, no sharing, just honesty. The second movement, ethical choice and the weight of commitment. Kierkegaard's ethical mode is not about being morally superior. It's about becoming a person who can be counted on through decisions that shape a stable self over time. You stop asking only, "What do I feel right now?" You start asking, "What kind of person am I becoming by doing this repeatedly?" In this mode, commitment is not a prison. It is architecture. Daily habits, promises kept, responsibilities accepted. These don't shrink your life. They give your life contour. Emotional rise. You discover that discipline can feel like relief because indecision is exhausting. Practice, 3 minutes. Pick one non-negotiable this week. Honest communication, sleep boundary, no hidden resentment. One meaningful work block per day. Then keep it for 7 days. Small vow, fully honored. Anxiety is not the enemy. It's the signal of freedom. This is one of Kierkegaard's most important corrections to modern stress culture. In The Concept of Anxiety, he writes that anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Not all anxiety is pathology. Some anxiety appears exactly when real choice appears, when your life opens, not when it closes. Fear has an object. I'm afraid of that. Anxiety is deeper. I am responsible for becoming someone. That is why moments of growth can feel shaky. You're not necessarily falling apart. You may be waking up to freedom. Emotional drop, then lift. At first you think, I'm broken. Then you realize, no, I'm standing at a threshold. Practice, 90 seconds. When anxiety spikes, ask, 1. What possibility is opening right now? 2. What responsibility is asking for me? 3. What is one concrete next action in 24 hours? Despair, when you refuse to become yourself. Kierkegaard treats despair not just as sadness, but as a misrelation in the self, a failure to become who you are meant to become. In The Sickness Unto Death, despair appears when selfhood is out of balance, possibility without groundedness, or necessity without living freedom. In plain language, despair of possibility, endless imagining, no embodiment. Despair of necessity. This is just who I am. I can't change. One floats, the other freezes. Both prevent becoming. This is where many people get stuck in modern life. Overthinking identity, underliving it, or reducing themselves to labels and old stories. Kierkegaard's cure is not motivational hype. It is truthful synthesis. Accept what is given. Choose what can be shaped. Practice, 5 minutes. Draw 2 columns. Given, cannot choose. History, limits, facts, responsibilities. Chosen, can shape. Response, practice, speech, priorities, attention. Read both columns aloud. That tension is your real life. Start there. Faith, the leap, and a major misunderstanding. Now we need to correct a popular misunderstanding. Many people think Kierkegaard says, "Don't think, just jump." That is too shallow. In Fear and Trembling, the voice speaking is a pseudonymous author, Johannes de Silencio, and scholars caution against simply equating that voice with Kierkegaard himself. So the point is not anti-intellectual recklessness. The point is existential decision under uncertainty, where reason alone cannot finish the task of living. For Kierkegaard, reflection matters, but reflection cannot choose for you forever. At some point, you must commit. Not because evidence is useless, but because evidence cannot live your life. Emotional intensity peak. You face a boundary where certainty ends and responsibility begins. Practice, 2 minutes. Name one area where you are over-reflecting and under-choosing. Career, relationship, calling, faith, health. Then choose one step that costs you comfort and increases your integrity. The crowd, the press, and why authenticity is harder today. Kierkegaard warned that modern public culture can level individuality. The distinct person gets flattened by anonymous opinion, the public, and media pressure. In A Literary Review, often called Two Ages, he criticizes a reflective, passionless age where spectatorship replaces commitment. He wrote this in the 1840s. Imagine what he'd say now. Today, it's not only newspapers. It's feeds, metrics, algorithms, performance loops. You can now receive feedback from everyone except your own conscience. This does not mean leave society or hate technology. It means don't surrender authorship of yourself to the crowd. Practice. Before you post, answer. Is this expression or impression management? Before you react, answer. Is this conviction or conformity? Love, responsibility, and the mature self. Kierkegaard is often portrayed as gloomy, isolated, severe. That's incomplete. He also wrote deeply about upbuilding, inwardness, love, hope, patience, humility, courage. The self is not meant to become authentic by isolating into ego, but by becoming responsible before what is ultimate and relationally faithful in everyday life. So authenticity is not, I do whatever I want. It is, I become someone trustworthy enough to love and to be loved. That is mature courage. Not theatrical rebellion, but steady truthfulness. 3. Common misunderstandings, corrected clearly. Let's correct 5 long-standing mistakes directly. Misunderstanding 1. Kierkegaard equals nihilism. No. He emphasizes responsibility, commitment, and becoming, not meaninglessness. Misunderstanding 2. Truth is subjective, so facts don't matter. No. He does not deny factual truth. He argues that existential and ethical truth must be lived inwardly, not just observed from distance. Misunderstanding 3. Leap of faith means blind irrationality. No. He stresses that life decisions cannot be postponed until total certainty arrives. Commitment happens where reason alone cannot complete existence. Misunderstanding 4. Aesthetic to ethical to religious is a neat 3-step ladder. No. Even the SEP entry notes this can be oversimplified. There are subdivisions and boundary zones. Human becoming is messy, not mechanical. Misunderstanding 5. Authenticity means selfish self-expression. No. For Kierkegaard, becoming a self includes accountability, relation, and ethical seriousness, not narcissism. 4. Practical application. A daily Kierkegaard framework. Now let's bring this home into ordinary life. Use this 7-part framework for 1 week. 1. Morning inwardness, 5 minutes. Before checking your phone, ask, what matters absolutely today? Where am I tempted to pretend? What one act would make today honest? 2. One chosen duty. Pick one responsibility you usually avoid, one conversation, one delayed task, one repair. Do it before noon. 3. Anxiety reframe. When you feel anxious, do not instantly pathologize yourself. Ask, what freedom is this pointing to? 4. Integrity sentence. Once per day, speak one sentence you usually hide. I don't agree with this direction. I need help. I was wrong. This matters to me. 5. Crowd filter. Before sharing online, pause 10 seconds. Ask, would I still do this if nobody saw it? 6. Evening self-synthesis, 3 minutes. Write 2 lines. Where I betrayed myself today. Where I was truthful today. No self-hatred, no self-flattery, just precision. 7. Weekly commitment ritual, 15 minutes once a week. Review. What did I keep? What did I avoid? What must I choose next? Then write one concrete commitment for the next week. That is how a self is formed. Not in one grand declaration, but in repeated truthful choices under pressure. Closing reflection. Kierkegaard does not promise an easy life. He offers something rarer, a life that is actually yours. He reminds us that anxiety can be a teacher, despair can be diagnostic, and commitment can be liberating. He reminds us that endless reflection is not the same as decision, and public performance is not the same as inward truth. He reminds us that becoming yourself is not a mood. It is courage, practiced over time. If you feel behind, fractured, or uncertain, start smaller than you think. Choose one honest action today, then another tomorrow. That is how authenticity stops being an idea and becomes a life. If this episode helped you, please subscribe and like Carefree Sloth. And I'll be back soon with more calm, practical wisdom for living with clarity, courage, and peace.